some Q&A, so we won't handle this like a news conference, but the release kind of speaks for itself, and it's an active and open investigation. And so I can answer some questions. There's probably some that I won't be able to speak in a lot of detail on, but I thought we'd provide a little bit of opportunity to see what we can take care of for you guys. So I don't know who wants to start or when you're ready, but let me know and we'll jump right in. So.
All good? Yeah, okay, cool. I guess I'll start in
Sure.
terms of questions. I'm Marisa with Proximity, by the way.
Good to meet you, Marisa.
Usually not down in Battle Creek, I know Yasmin is, but I guess first question that I have, can you just explain, I guess why wait to release this information? You know, it happened last night at 8 p.m. Why did we learn about it this afternoon around
Sure.
2:30?
Sure. Well, last night was a bit chaotic, so that was a very large scene. There were 200 to 300 people there. We were more focused on trying to make a determination if anyone was injured as a result of the actions that occurred. That doesn't mean that, of course, anyone with life-threatening injuries we would have came across immediately, but you have any other individuals which may have been grazed or not or injured minorly. So that takes a lot of time to start to look at. That's our primary focus. Secondly, we were doing everything we could to locate the individual that was responsible for firing those rounds. So that takes precedence. There was some other investigation purposes that happened. We put this together as soon as we feasibly could when we had the best information, and we were able to have a break in the investigation so that we could put it out.
Another question I have, I know you mentioned there were 200 to 300 people, and that was something that stood out to me.
Sure.
In watching that video too, there are a ton of people there. Was there any sort of event, you know, can you give us any context as to why there were so many people at the park last night?
Yeah, I believe there was I think a sporting event, an adult basketball league, I think was taking place. So, and not only that, it was a nice evening and people were enjoying the park. So between, you know, those two factors, hence the volume of people that were there.
I saw in the press release said, you know, you found several other discarded guns in the area. Other than the person that fired shots, are you looking into any other individuals, you know, for potential crimes at all? Or?
Yes, and I don't want to elaborate any further on that.
Real quick, I missed that. I didn't see that in the release we got. How many other guns were found specifically?
2 others.
2 other guns. And then in terms of, because I know there was a fight that stemmed the first round of shots, and I believe you said that you guys know the suspect. Have you guys tried to make any contact with him? I guess what can you tell us about the suspect? How well known is he?
I don't want to speak to that at this time. So the investigation is ongoing and active, and we are pursuing information related to that.
I know you guys aren't identifying the officer yet, but how long has he been with the department?
10 years, I believe.
Has he been involved in any other shootings, to your knowledge?
Yes.
Yes. When was that?
I don't want to speak to that because then you'd be able to ascertain who that officer was.
Okay.
And it's just we're in the actual, you know, early stages of an administrative review. So until we can make sure everybody's safely, emotionally, and physically, then some of this other information can come to light. But
can you talk a little bit about the efforts that are ongoing to try and catch the suspect?
no, I can't.
I realize,
Sorry.
But
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure.
Understood. I'll just say that the investigation is ongoing, and we're happy with the progress, and I'll leave it at that.
I guess your message to the community, I know you said that you guys don't feel that there is any threat to them, but nonetheless, you know, you have a shooting at a popular park while people are out there trying to enjoy their evening. I guess what
Gosh.
you
Well, it's incredibly traumatizing. I mean, just think about that. You're out enjoying an evening, great summer evening, whether you were just there enjoying the park or you're there participating in the sporting activities with the basketball and whatnot, and then a situation where an incident or an argument or some type of altercation escalates into a shooting, right? It's absolutely horrific. It's unconscionable that we would reach that level of behavior. There were plenty of kids there, moms, grandmas, and other people there. So yeah, it's the trauma, and then just think about all the individuals that live in that community immediately adjacent to that park and the surrounding areas. You know, public safety is a community responsibility. We can't do it alone. We need the help of our community so that we can have impact and absolutely reduce the level of violence that we're seeing. We're not just, you know, it's not just here in Battle Creek. We're seeing this all over the state, not too far to the east or not too far to the west. We're seeing a lot of these things. So just one stat I'll throw out to you. What are we, 5.5 months now, into the year, 6 months basically. We've already seized 90 firearms in this city. 90 firearms have seized, all right? That's a significant stat. We're working on solutions, and we're working on developing to bring other partnerships and community stakeholders to the table so that we can start to drill down and really start to address this in a different way, because you know, a lot of the systems and manners and methods in which we use to try to, you know, address these issues, well, we haven't worked, right? So we're working on some things we hope to implement here in the not too distant future that will have an impact. But this is it's gonna take the community. We can't do it alone.
And I've had a chance to look at the video, but you know, the 200 to 300 people that you said were there, were these mostly adults, were there some teens, and I guess who were the people that were involved with this big game?
I don't have the breakdown, but there were, and I don't have the ages, but, you know, a significant amount of people there for the sporting event, and there was also a significant amount of kids and moms and grandmas and whoever else was there, so, but I don't have a breakdown for all that.
Kind of bouncing off of that, talking more specifically about the fight that happened beforehand.
Sure.
Was it adult men? Was it teenagers? Do you have an age range for
Sure.
who was involved in that? Specifically?
Well, from the initial report of an altercation, remember, officers arrived on scene because they saw something that didn't look right. They didn't know if it was an altercation. They had no idea. They just saw some things. I believe the people kind of not necessarily running at that moment, but distancing themselves away from the basketball court area. They thought that suspicious. As they got out of their vehicles, that's when other citizens that were there told them, hey, there's a fight going on over here. As they approached, then you saw the video, then the gunshots ring out, and then you saw, well, the results of those actions. So we don't know yet what caused the original altercation. You know, we'll hopefully make that determination in the not too distant future, but can't give you an answer on that because that's just information we haven't come across yet.
Have you been able to get good cooperation from the people who were there and witnessed what happened?
Yeah, we actually did. Yeah, we got some pretty excellent cooperation. You know, some were just traumatized, weren't able to speak, and it was also a pretty chaotic situation when you're talking about, you know, families and little ones, getting them out of the area and for their safety. And by all means, that was fine. So, but we are always looking and searching for an opportunity for someone to step forward and provide information that would benefit us in this investigation.
Mm-hmm. And then this is a detailed question. I guess in looking at the shooting where the officer is actually involved in, I couldn't tell. Did he fire first, or did the suspect fire at him first, and then he went on to fire?
Sure.
Just
So
in hearing,
right.
You know.
So as the release states, the officer actually observed the subject firing at 2 other individuals.
Okay.
So that individual's actions were life-threatening against 2 other individuals. The officer, observing what he was doing, fired at him to stop him from potentially killing them. That's what we have.
So he fired first after observing him, the suspect.
The suspect fired first. So there's a volley of rounds that you hear, right? The officer observes what's going down. Then if you go back to the video and you listen, you'll hear one other round. That's the subject firing again. I don't know what the time frame is, but I'll say immediately after that happens, the officer then engages that subject to stop his behavior. Yeah.
In just talking about that video, I don't know if you can answer this, but can you kind of give us your reaction to seeing that video? Do you think that the officer handled that situation correctly?
Well, right now, so the officer's on paid administrative leave. We have an administrative review process to make sure that his conduct was in lines with our use of force policy and procedure pursuant to case law. So I cannot comment on this time because that investigation is open and ongoing.
I guess more broadly, can you explain what Battle Creek's officer-involved shooting, or not, use of force policy is?
In a nutshell, in defense of self or in defense of others, deadly force is appropriate.
Other than the officer and the one individual that you said, were there any other shots that were fired that you believe at this point?
No, not at this point. Anything else?
I don't have any other questions. Does
Yep.
anyone else have anything?
No? All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you coming in.
We appreciate you making the time.
Oh, anytime. Be safe on your travels, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks.